Welcome
Where's
to
the
the
theme
Zia
song?
Symbol podcast.
I thought there was supposed to be a theme
Oh
song.
yeah. I thought there was gonna be a theme song too, bro. I did. It's not
But
playing. I don't know why.
what the hell, man? We just broke 1,000 subscribers and we already fucked up. Fuck
Okay.
you,
Let me
quality.
get it. Let me get it.
It's ruined, man. It's ruined. We'll be like
This is for you, Pedro. It's over. The war in Israel and Lebanon is over. Lasted 12 minutes.
I cannot work on these conditions, man. You'll speak with my union representative.
All right, here it goes. Here goes the. Do you know who this is?
Yeah, man. Oh, that's a classic.
All right. Welcome to the Zia Symbol podcast once again. I have
Hello, everyone.
yep, Pedro's here. Say hi.
Hey, guys. What's up? Make sure to subscribe if you're watching this from Rumble or YouTube so you don't miss out on this quality content.
Yes, and we are obviously a small channel. We are not experts in geopolitical conflict, but we are well traveled, aren't we, Pedro?
Not as much as you. You know, you actually know more stuff than I do, and you got more experience under your belt, if you get my gist.
Um, there's a let's just say there's chulas everywhere in the world, right? There's chulas everywhere,
Hey
and
man, I don't discriminate.
same here. So let's. What are we gonna go over today, Pedro? Can you give us a brief introduction?
Well, first of all, congratulations, Orlando. You know, congratulations because this channel was able to arrive to 1,000 subscriber on YouTube. You know, and yes, I mean it's always like the hardest part. You know, like reaching the 1,000. But the fact that we were able to actually reach it, that's brutal. You know, and just to let you know, like this is mostly Orlando's work, fundamentally speaking. And be sure to dick around.
No, and obviously, you know, the idea is that we can create as individuals, as entrepreneurs, because this isn't the main thing. You know, you don't do YouTube, you don't do content creation necessarily. You have your own entrepreneurial aspirations, as do I. So we're just kind of playing around, talking, conversing, showing y'all some news. We have two pretty good, um, you know, clips that we're gonna show y'all. Well, one's an article and one's a video, right?
Yes. Well, one is from like the BBC, and another one is actually like a video of something that is actually going on right now, which is a mass shooting as we're speaking right now in Tel Aviv. We did not come prepared at all. Like these are things that are happening right now as we speak. You know,
Yeah.
we're kind of like the south part of podcasting. We just do things as they come.
Yes, we do. And also, um, my just for the audience, you know, New Mexico has a little bit of trade relations with Israel, yet a big population that supports Palestine. Um, that's kind of relevant, you know, for those that are listening that are New Mexican. But for those that aren't, you know, that's just to give you a little bit of context. That's why it's kind of interesting. Me personally, the Middle East is not my expertise. You know, I personally love Eastern Europe and the conflict in Russia. That's my interest. I know Pedro's is not the Middle East as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So Pedro, what do you see like happening? What do you see prediction wise, or is it if it's so hard to tell because it's going on in real time as we speak?
Yeah,
Israel invaded Lebanon. Um, they bombed Beirut.
yeah,
Um, so which is a modern city. It's a modern city. Uh, yeah, comments.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense that they will bomb Beirut because Beirut is still like a pretty important strategic area. And from my understanding, that there is a lot of military concentrations in their infrastructure, electrical infrastructure too, from my understanding. And at least according to what the IDF has actually been saying, is that they intend to actually like do like a limited invasion in southern Lebanon in order to create like a buffer zone that is demilitarized. And this actually came as a response because Hezbollah was actually bombing with missiles from northern Israel, which actually forced like hundreds of thousands of Israelis out of their homes.
Okay. Um, I think we should maybe start looking at this clip. Um, Fascinating stuff. I think it's just going to be Ukraine does not have. I think this is the time where Ukraine is negotiating for permissions, right, to use certain weapons to strike into Russia. Um,
They
I think
they
that
already used weapons in Russia.
yeah, I agree. I think it's we can look it up, but that's going on under the table. You know, this is obviously more the spectacle is Israel right now. Bombs
Yeah,
Yemen. I didn't see bombs Yemen.
yeah. Oh yeah, they also bombed Yemen, especially I think like infrastructure of the Houthis.
Okay, okay.
For
Do
those
you see my
who
screen?
I do not see the screen right now. For those who don't know, there's been like the situation in which like the Houthis were actually talking and practicing piracy against like cargo ships that were illegally actually being transported towards Israel. Also, the Houthis launched several like missiles against Israel too.
Yes. Um, so like I said, we're gonna see this real quick. Pedro, let me know if you can
I can see it now.
see the
Yeah,
screen.
operations here in the Middle
yeah, I can see it. You can put play on it. I cannot hear you actually. Is your mic on?
How about now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So let's check this out.
Perfect. I cannot hear it.
You can't hear it?
No, I cannot.
Okay, let me see.
But yeah, like that is yeah. Pretty much Israel is pretty much fighting like a three-front war, as we're actually speaking, and it seems that Iran is actually intending to make a retaliation attack against Israel with ballistic missiles. Are you getting the video?
Nasrallah
No,
has marked a
can you
rapid
hear it now?
escalation in this conflict.
I can hear you now.
Well, Israel announced strikes in Yemen,
Okay.
which targeted power plants and the port of Hodeida, with their response to missile attacks by the Iranian-backed Houthis. The Houthi-run health ministry has said at least 4 people were killed and 29 wounded. And here in Lebanon, Israel attacked more than 120
Beirut's on the
targets
coast.
yesterday.
Yeah,
For the moment, we're here from international correspondent Paula Gerlin. He's returned from the Bekaa Valley to assess the impact of Israel's campaign there. First, let's get the latest on those Israeli airstrikes in Yemen and head to Jerusalem. Our correspondent John Donison is there. John, why has Israel decided to do this now?
Well, Israel says it attacks those who attack it. And ever since the war erupted in Gaza almost a year ago, the fear has been that the conflict there will escalate into a wider regional war. And those fears were not eased today.
Wow.
Israel's military reach and power is long and strong. This is not Lebanon or Gaza, but almost 2,000 kilometers away in Yemen.
Wow.
The target, one of the country's biggest ports and 2 power stations controlled by Iranian-backed Houthis. The operation directed by Israel's defense minister.
We have no interest in expanding the war. We have no interest in looking for additional fronts. But if somebody attacks Israel, as the Houthis have recently done with missiles, and throughout the war with cruise missiles and drones, anyone who carries out such an attack, we will settle the account with them, and we know how to do it.
Israel is not holding back. Its Air Force releasing footage as they set off for the raid. And earlier today, it says it shot down another drone launched from Yemen. For the past year, the Yemeni Houthis have been trying to influence the conflict in the Middle East. This is their commandos seizing a British-owned ship in the Red Sea last November. They have long-range missiles, are supported by Iran, and are fiercely opposed to Israel. Speaking yesterday, the Houthis' military spokesperson Yahya Saraya said they wouldn't stop until Israel ended its aggression against Gaza and Lebanon. Today's strikes in Yemen highlight another dangerous front in a war that threatens to engulf the region. John Donison, BBC News, Jerusalem.
Well, Israel also continued throughout the day today to launch airstrikes in the east of Lebanon. Around 50 people were told have been killed in that particular series of strikes. And our senior international correspondent, Orla Guerin, has sent this report from the Bekaa Valley.
Wow.
Israel keeps hitting hard. For now, it looks unstoppable. This is the Bekaa Valley this afternoon. There were at least 30 airstrikes in an hour. Danger in every direction. And new dead. Our neighbours, the Jamil family, are all gone, he says. As more airstrikes rain down, Noor Moussaoui lies in intensive care. She is 6 years old and was injured on her own doorstep on Monday. Her family say she's intelligent and chatty and loves meeting new people. But here, shortly before the attack, she was afraid and praying. An ambulance has just arrived now, bringing casualties from the latest airstrike. They're being treated in the emergency department. There's a lot of anger and tension. People are stressed, wondering when this is going to stop. Back in intensive care, Noor's father, Abdullah, wants the world to see his child. Was she fighting?
They do it. Israeli intelligence was already widely assumed to be behind the lethal sabotage of thousands of Hezbollah's pagers and walkie-talkies. The Mossad, that's Israel's overseas spy agency, thought to be explosives into the supply chain.
What were you saying?
Israel has no intention of expanding the war. That was said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think it's like the Napoleon tactic where they're, the best defense is an offense?
No, pretty much. That's pretty much what's going on. I mean, in the Lebanon situation, I think that what has been happening is that, again, we have to remember that Hezbollah was actually launching missiles at northern Israel. And I believe that actually killed innocent civilians too, and like any civilians dying is an absolute total tragedy. But fundamentally, that actually falls into like the decision making of like politicians and military leaders. Uh, but going back into it, what we're talking about, I was going
We're,
on a train though.
no, for sure. It was just, the in the beginning they mentioned that Israel had no intentions of uh, seeking out broader conflict, more conflict,
Yeah,
and that essentially that the attacks upon them, they were going to retaliate, right?
yeah,
And it's continuous, right? Someone's trying to get the last word, no matter what.
exactly. Yeah, I think what happened too is that Israel is emboldened, and it is emboldened because one, America supports Israel. America, no matter what, will always have Israel's back. And there is actually a lot of criticism whether or not America should actually like be so entangled with Israel, or if like Israeli laws should actually like have as much influence that they do within the
Yeah.
federal government. But also like the recent situation in which pretty much Iran has pretty much betrayed Hezbollah.
Mhm.
I believe that the Iranian government has pretty much stated to the Hezbollah that they will not actually go in their aid. They will launch missiles, they will do that, but they know very well that they're going to be intercepted way before they even reach Israeli soil.
Mm. This is a fascinating, tense moments. The um, Arabic tradition and Jewish tradition or Israeli tradition. Um, they have conflict. Um, it just seems it's peculiar to me that religious sections don't combine forces and fight the obvious establishment together.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I need to really point out that I am not pro-Israel. You
Me
know,
either.
yeah, yeah, because fundamentally, I don't really give a fuck about Israel.
Mhm.
You know, and it is also important to know that Israel has been committing war crimes in their offensive in Gaza. Yes, you can say that maybe they are justified to do such offensive after the October 7 attack and the massacre against like the music festival and all the atrocities that Hamas actually committed against like Israeli civilians. But we do actually have reports of which Israeli soldiers were like burning down houses, civilian homes. There was like the gang rape of the Palestinian prisoner that was happening. And there's more stuff going on. I think that was like the case, for example, where they strapped in like injured Palestinian into the front of the car, which actually violates protocols, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
those are the things that we know about. Not to
yeah,
mention like the whole situation of like the Israeli settlers, which definitely only add gasoline into the fire.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. It's I don't know. Do you remember this one picture where this guy he showed his like deed to his home, and it was like from the Ottoman Empire? I was like, whoa! I don't know how true that was, but do you remember that? He like put out the deed to his home. It was like from the Ottoman Empire.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong too, but the concept of a let me turn on my light actually because it is kind of getting dark. Here we go. The concept of a Palestinian state is relatively new.
Mhm.
It is like an idea that's barely 75 years, which came as a response to the Israeli declaration of independence. And because previous to Palestine, there was really no conjoined national unity in the region, but rather like different communities of Arab Muslim populations that they will actually exchange between each other or they will have conflict with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea that there was a Palestine, fundamentally speaking, is just it's more it is extremely recent.
Mm-hmm. Do you think I'm just playing with conjecture, right? Um, just take what I ask with a grain of sand, because I'm just talking. But do you think that oh wait, let me pause this. Okay. Can you see the YouTube channel? The
Yeah,
video?
I see you perfectly.
Okay, cool. Can you see me a little bit?
Yeah, I see you perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Handsome
So
guy.
dude, do you think it could be a resolution for Israelis that are that don't necessarily have so much invested in the land to leave?
What do
Like
you mean exactly?
like like essentially just move Israel somewhere else.
I
Or
I think
I
we're
mean
way.
that's what I'd say.
I totally get what you're saying. Uh, I mean, it does kind of go to like the point of, you know, back when there was like the discussion of the creation of a Jewish state. There was actually other possible locations that people were talking about. I think there was the idea of England or
Mhm.
the easternmost parts of Russia or even territories in Uganda.
Yeah.
That, which is hilarious.
Yeah. It would not such a bad idea. Not such a bad
I
idea.
mean, I don't know. Where would you send the Jews?
Personally, I would say Mexico.
Mexico. Oh, okay. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
like Jalisco, Guadalajara, Distrito Federal, Mexico City.
Man, that's kind of scary, because you have the ferocity of like the Mexican cartels, but now you have like the cult, mathematic calculus of the Jewish.
But people live in Mexico City, right? Like it's like Trotsky left Russia to go there. Um,
Fuck, nah, man. Let's put Israel in northern Mexico, man. Let's.
you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna create the same problem. People cartels.
The idea of starts trafficking coke to the America.
Where would you propose a new Jewish state?
Oh man, that's. I mean, the thing is like, we already opened up this kind of worms. It's like this. The what happened already happened. And like the idea of like moving like all of the Jewish people like out of those territories, which is what will happen if you have like a situation of like a Palestine from river to the sea being a free nation.
Hmm.
You know, I just don't think that that is possible. You know, but and like we could like try to like we could try to like speculate uh, what would have happened if like the creation of the state of Israel had been in like literally anywhere else. But those are just speculations, and that is more
Yeah,
like
it's a
for like
conjecture.
alternate history. That's more of a science fiction.
Yeah, yeah. The reality is ever more. The reality is actually much more, you know, uh, interesting and hard, and it's creating itself. It's creating its own narrative. Um, I have. Do you see my screen? Do you see the proposals for the Jewish state?
Let's say Mosai is Mordecai, Manu, Noah, oh, Ararat. Oh shit! They were thinking
What's
about the
that?
United States.
That's not bad in New York.
Yeah, I feel like New York is already like the second U.S. state at this point. And the third one being Hollywood.
The British Uganda. That's crazy, dude. To put them in Uganda.
Yeah, we send them to Africa.
He said, after receiving the report, Congress decided in 1905 to politely decline the British offer. Some Jews who viewed this as a mistake formed the Jewish Territorial Organization in the aim of establishing a Jewish state anywhere. Wow.
Was this plan like previous or after World War II?
It was in 19... Dude, it says that was in 1903. Bro, so they were trying to do this like way before World War II, man. That is wild.
Yeah. I do believe that there was like rejections about that because Zionism has always had like a strong emphasis on the idea that the quote unquote Holy Land that has to be like the home place of Israel, In all retrospective hindsight 2024, definitely not the best idea ever. But now we're kind of sticking to it because fundamentally speaking, Israel does kind of like offer like Western countries, especially the United States, like an important like a strategic position holding in the Middle East.
Yeah, they definitely like essentially it could have been a scheme to infiltrate that region. That's why maybe they chose that region in the Middle East to kind of, because Hitler was going for it. Why wouldn't Churchill? Why wouldn't who was the president in World War II after Roosevelt died?
I don't know, Truman. Yeah.
And then after that, Eisenhower, right?
Yes, Eisenhower with the Republicans.
Yeah. So like, it's like, what, dude? Like, did the especially if the elites in World War II during the time, they probably just wanted to infiltrate the region, and gain an influence, which was problematic because you're not going to throw 3 güeros into the barrio in the middle of the night.
Hey man, I'm sorry.
Güeros better weapons than the one in the hood.
I'm gonna get some water. I'm very fucking thirsty. Sorry about that. My mouth was getting super dry.
You're good, bro. Yo, man. So, dude, this is wild. Can you see my screen?
Oh damn! That is just right now as we're speaking.
Yeah. Israel says Iran has launched missiles at the country. This was last updated at 1:10 p.m. today.
Oh fuck! Now, will this mean? Go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm just gonna read real quick. Israel's military said Iran launched missiles at the country, an escalation that risks a wider war in the Middle East that the Biden administration has worked to avoid. They said the Biden administration has worked to avoid. Interesting. Israelis headed for bomb shelters, air raid sirens blared, and explosions could be heard above Tel Aviv.
Oh my god.
That is wild.
Like, again, this is happening right fucking now, you know? Like, I was aware that America was saying that Iran will actually attack, like in the next following days, you know? But it seems that Iran has decided to fuck it, do it right now.
Sure, yeah, sure. Bro, that is crazy. So
You
World
know,
War One, I mean World War Three will begin in the Middle East, I guess.
I don't know. I think that, for example, most Western countries and most outsider countries are just going to let this play out by themselves. But it will depend on the following. Like, do you think that Israel is now going to strike against Iran directly?
Whew. That is heavy, man. Heavy stuff. What do
This
you,
is insane. This is not the first time it happens. Let's remember that.
it's not the first time. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It will depend on what is the intensity of the attacks and whether or not Israel and its allies will be able to like intercept those missiles before they reach to Israel.
Hmm. They most likely. Well, do you remember whenever Iran sent those drones and only a few got through into Israel?
Yeah, yeah,
You remember that?
and yeah, and everyone agrees that Iran like purposely made that attack pretty weak in order to like avoid an escalation. They wanted to
Yeah,
save some face, you know, state that they did something, but fundamentally not really do anything in order to not enter into direct confrontation with Israel. Because
exactly.
fundamentally speaking, go ahead.
Yeah, and also it was a kind of to test, in a way, uh, the how do you say, like, the what can pass into the Israeli defense system, air defense system.
Yeah,
If drones can get through, we just expose a little bit of of failures in the Iron Dome.
yeah, yeah.
Like maybe you're testing the waters in a way.
I mean, from my understanding, and this is what I read somewhere else, is that part of the reason why Israel is attacking Lebanon is because Hezbollah was actually firing so many missiles that Israel was actually at a risk of running out of the ammunition necessary to intercept them. So there was kind of like an attrition warfare element going on. So Israel decided to do like an offensive before that would actually happen.
I see. Okay. Heavy stuff, man. Do you see my screen, right?
Yeah. I sent that to you, and it's insane.
Yeah. Mass shooting near Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yeah. Don't need to discern it. Here we go. It seems World War III is right around the corner.
Yeah. Uh,
Wisecracker.
that is wild. Um, let's see what else is in Israel
And,
news.
and you can see like the corpses in there. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like bomb shelter as rockets from Iran were just fired at Israel.
Wow.
Yeah. Man, I'm glad I'm no Middle Eastern. You know.
No offense. No offense. Oh, the homie Charlie Kirk. Dude, Charlie Kirk is hilarious, bro.
Man, go ahead.
He's stern, bro. He's fucking. But I like his. I don't agree with the immigrant, like his immigration stance, but I kind of respect the hustle. I respect the hustle.
Bro, he interviewed a Holocaust denier. Yeah.
Statement from the President Donald Trump on the Iranian terror regime's imminent attack on Israel. Wow. He says the world is on fire and spiraling out of control. We have no leadership, no one running the country. We have a non-existent president in Joe Biden and a completely absent Vice President Kamala Harris, who is too busy fundraising in San Francisco City. Wow, dude. When I was president, Iran was in total check. They were stars for cash.
I mean, it is kind of true that the last 4 years for the United States have been extremely tough and has definitely reflected poorly on Democrat administration, whatever your opinion is in regards to like the management or whatnot. Oh my God.
That was crazy, dude. That was multiple Iranian missile strike in Israel.
Oh, I think they hit. Okay, yeah, we're going to war.
That is wild, yo.
Yeah, like this is going to escalate.
Wow.
That is insane. Missile tries impact on Israel. Isn't there striking numerous targets? No shit. Thank you. Wow. They're striking numerous targets. I didn't know.
Dude.
Kind of fitness, so they gunned down civilians in the main street. There's no coexistence with these people. Yeah, this shit is hitting the fan right now.
Oh, what was it? It said 2 terrorists armed with rifles opened fire on civilians in Tel Aviv. Casualties reported. Israeli forces have gunned down 1 terrorist.
Damn. We already saw this video.
Oh yeah, we did. Did we see this one?
No.
I did. I love it. I did. I love it.
Wow.
Biden has just launched a statement saying that America will protect Israel no matter what.
What?
Yeah. Which is to be expected. That has been American policy for a while.
Sure, yeah. Irregardless of who's the Republican.
Yeah, I just read it here through Spanish media. And I would not be surprised if this could actually end up with an American attack on Iran. If we're talking about like this level of escalation.
Wow. I just. It's just so crazy looking at everything, man. Like the whole context of the conflicts around the world. There, I see a lot of. So why I can't just see something like. Dude, he's Polish, right?
Who, Netanyahu? I don't know.
Yeah. I think he's Polish, man. I think that's why he's so fucking duro, man. Because I mean, I'm not being apologetic for Israel. I'm just saying that, like, if you have the history that you have of Israel, the Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Israel state was made of Russian Jews, Polish Jews, Latvian Jews, Ukrainian Jews. It's made up of different people, Arabic Jews.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but whenever World War II ended, Jews needed to go somewhere, and they have that kind of footprint, right? The way, the fingerprint, and it makes sense how they're acting. It makes sense that China's being so aggressive right now. China was fucked during World War II. They got
Yeah.
annihilated. They're being super defensive, and they're just trying to ensure their own survival. Like, in a way, it's brutal, but
Do you think that this kind of goes through like and I'm gonna sound like a woke girl, but like intergenerational trauma? Like, do you believe in that?
Yeah, for cultures, societies, and countries, yes, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is so wild, though.
We're going through history. We're going through history right now, and we're barely like expectating it. Now I wish I was at your place. You're like at the other side of the world.
Yeah, dude, we're pretty. We like it over here, man.
I know, man. It's like here, it's like, what if like the Moroccans kind of go crazy, and decide to bomb us, Out of solidarity.
Dude, that would be crazy. That would be the wildest thing ever, man. If it was just like the reverse, like they went to go invade again. And then the Europeans come to America again because you'll have to flee war.
If we can start, I could open like in New Mexico, like a bakery, or like a bar. Let's open a bar. Fuck it.
Like a pro-Palestine bar or what?
I mean, New Mexico people seem to be pretty pro-Palestinian, so that will actually be good marketing, I guess.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. They said Saudi Arabia has banned all public displays of support for Palestine, Hamas, and Hezbollah. If you violate the law, you will be arrested. When will the West?
Damn. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Is that at Mecca?
Yeah, that's Mecca.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Like, you wouldn't pull out an American flag at Mecca either.
But I think this is more because Saudi Arabia has pretty much been coming like an ally of Israel, which is insane. But it does kind of also reveal that the leadership of the country is pragmatic.
I hope this woman is okay. I'm just worried about her safety, bro. Like,
yeah. No. It's insane.
It says in Egypt, they built a huge wall because they don't want refugees from Palestine. Some things in 57 other Islamic countries where no one wants to host Palestine refugees. Why?
I know that's also been
Wow.
like I've been critical of like the Arab like community of Arab nations because of that. Like they're all about like this virtue signaling, always waving the Palestinian flags and cursing Israel, but they have not like accepted one single refugee from Palestine.
Yeah. Who has accepted the most Palestinian refugees?
Probably European countries.
Let me check it out. I'm gonna Google that real quick.
I could be terribly wrong.
I honestly have no idea.
Man, well, I was expecting like Iran to like do like one of those Hizifits attacks, in which they would get to say we did something, and than just go radio silence. But this actually is like a straight up attack.
Mm-hmm.
Like this might actually like, escalate to something even greater.
Bro, it's. Do you remember the displacement of Ukrainians? Like whenever Russia struck again, like those three regions, like Kherson and Zaporizhia.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a lot of them went to like obviously like European countries, but right here, I'm gonna share this tab. Let me know if you can see it.
A lot of them go to Lebanon. Okay. Jordan and Lebanon, 491,000. That makes sense.
With nearly 2.4 million registered Palestinian refugees, close to half of the total of all Palestinian refugees, Jordan is home to the largest number, followed by Syria and Lebanon.
There you go. Okay, that makes sense. I was wrong. I thought that it kind of makes sense because those are like the closest countries to the region, and like they will reach those places by foot or car.
Exactly. No, but I think you're right, man. Like, I think I saw something about European countries right here.
In 2023, refugee statistics, baseline Jenin, Jordan, Gaza Strip, Arab. But it does kind of show you, because how many, for example, Muslim states exist worldwide? Like how many Muslim states? You have a lot of them. But the fact of the matter is that there doesn't seem to be like any agreement or cooperation between any of them in order to actually enact like a redistribution or like a cooperation in regards to like transporting like these refugees and allowing them to like move into their countries and maybe contribute to their countries. Kind of like the same scheme that you actually have in regards to like refugees here in the European Union, in which they majorly arrive to like Southern European countries, but many Northern European countries will like take them in as a form of solidarity.
Sure. Bro, that is crazy. Let me see, which countries have the most refugees?
Jordan, I think. Turkey. Okay.
Dude, that is crazy. Hosts more refugees than any other country, with many fleeing from Syria and then Iran.
Yes. Yo, I think Israel will actually attack Syria too. I think they bombed Damascus.
What?
Yeah. Now that I remember it, look it up. I could be totally wrong.
Let's see what's updated. Yeah, for sure.
Look, put up Syria.
Syria.
Syria, yeah, there you go.
Let's go to good old Al Jazeera.
Man, Israel is acting like the drunk man at the bar that's just picking up fights with everyone.
Dude, they're going like they're drunk Napoleon right now.
He's overextending. He's getting too powerful, man.
They say, okay, I'm gonna play the video.
Let's do it. That's 2 minutes. Keep in mind, this is all just here.
How about the
Yeah. We continue bombarding and blood attack. Wow.
Bunker busters, Jesus. Okay, so that's a war crime.
Israeli strikes in Yemen destroyed 2 power plants and a part of a seaport. Whoa. Whoa, the port handled 8% of food they sent to ease Yemen's hunger crisis. Dude,
the destruction of that port really could have significant humanitarian consequences for a region struggling with hunger and malnutrition. 18 million Yemenis are relying on food assistance for survival.
Jesus Christ.
Ukraine, they have to put Ukraine in there.
الهنجار السوري يا شباب الهنجار السوري هلا
Wow.
ضربوا الهنجار السوري يا شباب هلا ضربوا الهنجار السوري
الحرب سنة كاملة في غزة بدأت تنتقل للشعوب العربية، بدأت تنتقل للبنان، وأنا مش حاب صراحة إنهم هم يتألموا زي ما إحنا تألمنا.
Wow.
Yeah. They have fired dozens of missiles at Israel. A war in Lebanon. Iran fired dozens of missiles. Jesus.
Any sort of attack from any which direction, whether it be Iran, Yemen, Gaza, Lebanon.
Wow, that is crazy, man.
That's wow.
Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps says it has fired dozens of missiles at Israel in response to the killing of people in Gaza, as well as Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. The IRGC says Israel will face crushing attacks if it responds.
And Israel will respond. I think they will respond to this because this is not an attack with drones. This was actually with ballistic missiles.
Mm-hmm. Yo. Death toll rises in Tel Aviv shooting. The White House issued a statement shortly after Iran fired the missiles. The U.S., which has increased its military presence in the region, it says Biden orders U.S. military to shoot down Iranian missiles.
Do you think that this could actually lead to an escalation in which American troops will actually send troops to Iran? A ground invasion.
Who would want to go, right? I think a lot of people, to be honest. I don't know, man. It depends, like what, how faithful are you to your country in a sense,
I mean, from my understanding, is that the reason why, for example, that America might end up invading Iran is because there is still a lot of concern about the idea of Iran having nuclear weapons, and that they could actually end up using those nuclear weapons against their strategic allies like Saudi Arabia or Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there is kind of like a logic going on that the safest course of action will actually invade Iran now while they do not have those capabilities. Invade them now before it's too late.
Yeah. It's heavy, it's obviously, we're so far away from this conflict that it just kind of doesn't really resonate, but it's starting to resonate much more because it's getting realer, right? It's starting to become more tense, and we're at the time in the modern era where conflicts are so far away that yet we can see them on our screen, right? We're seeing all this stuff on our screen, and it's
Yeah.
terrifying. It's scary. What?
Do you? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, like how faithful are you to Spain or Venezuela?
How what?
I was like, how faithful are you to Spain or Venezuela's military conquest or inquisitions or operations? You know.
Oh, you know that I believe in the Reconquista, man. That's the only way forward.
That's for Rumble. That's for Rumble.
Spain is gonna be like the WWE, you know. It's gonna be watch out, watch out, watch out, and arrive surprising with a chair. Knocks Israel
Y'all
in
knew
the
that
back.
Reconquista, bro. Y'all lost a lot. Y'all need to look at Portugal like some cheesecake, man.
I know, man. I know. Like Portugal is kind of looking juicy, you know.
It's looking like another. No, that's not even funny.
No, what are we gonna say, or is it gonna get us canceled?
I will.
You know
I mean, we
what?
don't have that much. No, I'll say.
Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself.
We barely surpassed 1,000 subscribers. Okay, man. We are starting a great career as podcasters, you know. Let's not ruin it barely stepping out.
Let's not kicked out 2 minutes in.
You know.
Dude, yeah, man. I know I was just gonna say, like, for me personally, you know, I'm so iconoclastic. I'm so like apart. Like, do you watch History Legends?
History Legends. No, I don't.
He's like the guy that covers who's that guy, Johnny Harris? Do you know Johnny Harris?
Johnny Harris. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he kind of like does criticisms of Johnny Harris, like Vice News and all that, because they're pretty liberal, and he's pretty good, man. I like History Legends. He's really good.
Okay. I'll check it out later.
Yeah, he's really good, man. But like he was just talking about like the faithfulness of like Ukrainian soldiers, how there's some that like are super faithful to the cause, there's some that are not, there's some that left and have no more identity with Ukraine, you know, like it's just it's weird.
I will say that, for example, in the context of Latin America, you will not find that as much. And part of the reason is because whereas like a lot of like European identities are actually like organic and like actually like came about like after like many hundreds of years of conflicts and like the generation of culture and traditions.
Mm-hmm.
A lot like this Latin American country identities, you know, they're very recent. They're very, very recent, and they came more like as a reaction after the after like the separation from Spain.
Sure. Yeah.
Like before Venezuela, it was like the Gran Colombia, and before that, it was like El Virreinato de Santa Fe. You know. But like a lot like this identities, like this national South American identities, are very new and very artificially created.
Yeah,
Like
it's
fundamental, there's no big difference between a Venezuelan and a Colombian.
Nope.
It's ridiculous that we have that distinction exists. You know.
Yeah. The source of identity is way stronger in the old world for sure.
Yeah.
That's why nunca nos peleamos, bro. That's why Mexico is not telling Bolivia, "Hey, we're gonna nuke your ass," you know.
Maybe we should.
Hey, leave Bolivia alone.
No.
Dude, freaking, do you remember whenever the Bolivian president had beef with Obama?
No, I don't remember that.
Dude,
which one? Was it Evo Morales?
Yeah, dude, it is hilarious. Let me look it up. It was hilarious, man.
Latin American politics is a joke. Absolutely. Oh, did you hear about like the beef in between Mexico and Spain?
Yeah, dude.
That was. What's your take on it?
It's just, I think Spain and like how Israel has a huge influence on the United States, like the lobbying and all that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with Spain, bro. Like it's actually, let's look at that real quick. That's kind of interesting. Spain, Mexico news. Essentially, Evo Morales just had beef with Obama. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, who didn't have beef with Obama?
Let's check this out.
El gobierno de España considera a México como un país hermano. España y México somos pueblos hermanos. Y por tanto, nos...
Can you hear that?
Yeah. And I agree with it, to be honest. Yeah.
Parece absolutamente inaceptable el que se excluya la presencia de nuestro jefe del Estado. Un jefe del Estado, por cierto, que ha participado en todas las tomas de posesión.
Mexican President-elect Claudia Sheinbaum angered Spain by barring.
She's I mean, look at her last name. She's clearly an Israeli agent.
I know.
Esa exclusión, y por eso hemos manifestado al gobierno de México la ausencia de cualquier representación. Y tengo que trasladarles además también mi enorme frustración, porque son gobiernos progresistas que ha habido hasta ahora en México, con López Obrador al frente, ahora también con la presidenta electa. Nosotros también somos un gobierno progresista y parece que no podemos normalizar nuestras relaciones políticas por algo que, en fin, con todos los respetos, creo que España ya ha fijado una posición de empatía también con la sociedad mexicana.
Ya está funcionando el fideicomiso en el Banco de México para el monto de las pensiones de los trabajadores al 30% de su salario. Wow. Ahora todos los que ganen el salario promedio.
Like these two presidents are full of shit. I need to point
out.
Yeah,
they're so full of shit, dude.
Cuando se niega la corona española, no solamente al perdón que engrandece a los pueblos, no los avergüenza, sino que los engrandece. Y además no hay una respuesta oficial al presidente de la República, no solamente Andrés Manuel López Obrador, sino al presidente de la República, representante del pueblo de México, de la nación, del Estado mexicano. Pues
we're declaring war.
We'll do it right now for
un agravio
on behalf of the country.
Sí, al pueblo de México.
Si
we'll
ya
do it on behalf
la
of the
presidenta
countries.
fijó postura sobre este asunto, repito, yo la apoyo, la respaldo y yo creo que
What do you think about that?
Okay. You first, actually.
First of all, I think, like you said, they're full of shit. Both of them are full of shit. This is obviously something they're trying to get some sort of reparation from the a certain time period in which Spanish landlords exploited citizens of Mexico during that time. This is what I think is bullshit. I think, first of all, don't give Mexican politicians one dime, one peso, nothing. Don't do it.
I'm so quoting you, man.
Yeah. And dude, even if the Españoles are a little bit putos, because they are.
They are.
Yeah. But like, who cares?
They're toxic, but they're passive-aggressive toxic, you know? At least the Brazilians, they straight up fight, you know? They straight up go to MMA cages and fight it out, you know?
Yeah.
They're just bitches.
They are, bro. They have some sort of like grandeur aspect about themselves.
Oh my
but
God,
not all of them. Yeah, not all of them. But I'm saying like I've experienced it myself, you know?
Like, yeah. You have like bad experience with Spanish people? Yeah, because no, like a lot of Spanish people here are arrogant. I'll give you that.
Yeah, for sure. They're very much viva el rey, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, my opinion on the matter is that them asking like an apology, it is as ridiculous as Spain demanding an apology for Italy for the conquest of the Romans on the Iberian Peninsula, or Germany for the conquest of the Visigoths against the Romans, or maybe like the Greeks for like the Phoenician occupying territory in Iberia, or demanding an apology from the Arab world for, also invading the Iberian Peninsula. And this kind of also showcased like a certain ignorance of history, because when Spain defeated the Aztecs,
They
what really
liberated thousands of people.
that's an argument that you can make,
Yeah.
because 90% of 90% of the army that defeated Montezuma in Tenochtitlan, it was indigenous people themselves who were fed up of and afterwards many of like the indigenous who sided with the Spanish, they would become members of the aristocracy, or like the new high class elitist society, which of course they will engage in exploitation and abuses.
Yeah.
But that is just human history the last 3,000 years.
And also, what about when the Mexican Empire with Guatemala joined the Mexican Empire, and they invaded lands all the way almost up to Panama and Colombia, or not Colombia, but Colombia, right, or Venezuela?
I don't remember. I don't know that much. I know that there was
I think it was just Panama, to be honest. I don't think they reached South America.
I mean, Panama used to be Colombian territory,
Mm-hmm.
but then the Americans actually took it. They started like funding the separatist movements in there, so that they could actually take hold of the territory and construct the channel. Yeah, and this is actually going to like, you and I may have disagreements about this, and I totally get it. I fundamentally think that the independence of South America was a mistake. I think it was a mistake. I don't think that it was from a sense of like for freedom or progressivism and like the creation of new republics outside of like the dynamic of like the absolutist monarchies of the Bourbons, but it was rather like it was like mostly because of personal interest. Like Bolivar, he had like a sense of like self-grandeur, who was possibly frustrated with his own career, so he decided to actually like enact, that rebellion. And he was heavily influenced by both the English and the French.
Yeah.
Francisco de Miranda, he was a French agent, and he was actually jailed in Venezuela.
Oh wow!
Because he was jailed in Venezuela by Bolivar because he was a French agent. And Bolivar, I kid you not, here's a quote saying, "The South America must give them himself away to the English, both in body and soul, if it wants to survive." So
I can hear your that perspective, bro. Because I personally think if South America was, and this goes for Mexico as well, because the fall of the Aztecs was just monumental. The fall of the Incas, monumental. And whenever that aristocracy happened, whenever the Spanish started giving indigenous cultures a part of the governments, and vice versa. You remember when indigenous governments or tribes would give the Españoles high positions as well. It was both. If that would have just continued, it might have been a different region instead of these revolutionaries, these people enacting independence movements, because those independence movements just kind of split everything. It divided people.
This is where I say that I think that it would have been better that if there was to be an independence, and I think it would have been unavoidable because fundamentally speaking, imperialism is expensive. You know, like I guess Spain did not really gain a lot from like those imperial projects because most of that money was being spent on the military in order to maintain them and also maintain like the armies in Europe.
Yeah.
And also a lot of money was being reinvested in like the kingdoms.
Yeah. And y'all take naps 3 times a fucking day.
Well, man, listen, man. Listen. you will too if you could, okay?
Hey man, if I could, y'all can't. Y'all can't afford to take those naps.
The whole nap thing is not true, by the way. It's a cute stereotype, but
it's a siesta. It's a siesta.
It's not true.
It's not
I thought
true,
it was
bro.
real too.
It's
Maybe
not true. I saw it in Argentina.
I think that it might be particularly true with the Andalus, and it's because during summer times, working under the sun at 2 or 3 p.m., you're going to die.
Yeah.
I just need to point out. You will just drop that. You
No,
have to
I'm
like
not-
take refuge.
Yeah, no, I remember in Spain and Argentina, like some shops being closed, like in Sevilla and all that. Like I remember some shops being closed during the hot period, right?
2 to 4. Yeah, they have that in Catalonia too. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense, man. It makes sense. Fuck that.
You've been colonized by the Americans, man. You're like 24/7. I need it now.
Hey, man, I think we should call it.
Okay, but okay, just one last point. I think that South America at some moment will have gotten like independence, but it would have been a lot better obtaining it through like diplomatic and like slowly political developments in the same way that a lot of like the British colonies obtained their independence, like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, which could have led to like
India.
Yeah. Much different like political developments and organizations, and also like a commonwealth of Hispanic nations.
Yeah. Even though the expansionist countries that were like responsible for like imperialistic colonization was like France, Holland, Portugal, Spain. And dude, I think out of all of them, Portugal and Spain got they got the brunt of like the worst end of the deal. They didn't get a good end of it. Even the British, despite they had a hard fall, like they were up here and they had a hard fall, and yet they were still able to like maintain their country, and like people were living kind of well, but Spain, dude, they had a hard time, man.
No, absolutely, and a lot of it is because like I'm not gonna deny like Spanish incompetency. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We had a lot of bad kings and monarchs. It's part of the reason why I'm not a monarchist myself.
Yeah,
I know. It's a whole like kind of worms, but I guess we should end it now before I get into that.
Dude, I just feel like the Mexico Spain thing is like a couple. They're fighting, they break up with each other and they ignore each other for a little bit, then they get back to it.
Mexico is like that Latina girlfriend that's like throwing a hissy fit, in Spain, they just have to like keep quiet and just arrive there with some jamon serrano, with her a little bit.
Dude, did he even apologize? Right? They didn't apologize.
No, we shouldn't apologize. Fuck off.
Dude, I thought he was just gonna apologize, like a fake apology, but no, dude, that is funny. That's España for you, boy. They're like, no, tío, hostia con eso.
Hey, man, hey. We're so sorry. We're so sorry that you lost half of your territory to the United States. What the fuck, man?
You're like, we know how it feels. It hurts. It hurts. Yeah, man. Bro, we gotta let me end the stream, but dude, we gotta do like everyone, thank you so much. Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. This is quality, top tier content. You know, fuck Wall Street Journal, fuck New York Times. You know, those are fake news. This is real wisdom.
Yeah, we do Al Jazeera. We do Al Jazeera here and BBC. News Nation.
All right.